Let's get into winners and losers of the draft real quick. Rapid fire. Dylan. Maybe not rapid fire, but Dylan, who is the biggest winner of this draft?
Biggest winner is the Seattle Seahawks. They got themselves a left tackle, although they didn't take a quarterback. That's all right. That's all right. You got your 1-2 punch with Kenneth Walker and Rashad Penny, which we talked about on yesterday's episode. Check it out. Check out the things that we got on YouTube. Dropped yesterday on Thursday. But I was big on Seattle. I really was. I loved everything they did. They added Kobe Bryant, a couple other corners in there. They made a lot of great moves and moves that had to be made to get a pass rusher. And boy, yay, oh yay, oh yeah, boy yay, Omada, boy yay, Koye.
Boye Mafe, man.
Boye Mafe, man. Come on, get your shit together.
There it is.
He's picking him as the winner and doesn't even know who the names are.
Yeah, I knew it was the edge. It was that Boye kid, not AJ. There it is. Thank you so much, Vinny. See, A+, A+, A. That's how you do it. Then a couple more A's beyond that with a B. That's how you do it right there. Seattle, they're my winner of the draft. Boom, baby.
For me, it was easy. It was Baltimore. And actually, we're going to talk about my real winner because I have about 3 later today, but I wanted to go elsewhere to, save some content. For me, I'll say the Baltimore Ravens. Getting Kyle Hamilton, getting Tyler Linderbaum. We talked about getting the best players at their position and being able to kind of solidify that. I thought they did a really good job. They got David Ojabo, who's arguably a top 5 at their position. This is a team that just consistently does what they always do, which is know how to build a foundation, build that structure, and get players that are going to help them win. I thought Baltimore did a nice job moving around, kind of trading picks, moving back up. Like, they did a nice job managing the draft and then going out and getting the best players. And it's arguably getting Kyle Hamilton where they did. I believe it was at 14. The steal of the draft. Could have been pick 2. Like, he could have gone pick 2 or 3. So good for them. Baltimore is my winner.
Love that pick. There's also another winner that I have, but we're going to talk about them a little later. So I'm going to go somewhere else as well. And I'm going to go with the Kansas City Chiefs. I really like what they did, what they addressed up front, and immediately they got their cornerback help in Trent McDuffie, who took a little, who they traded up to get. So they saw they had a need. They were aggressive. They made it happen and picked up Trent McDuffie. And then with their second pick in the first round, an edge rusher that could have gone in the teens and George Karlaftis got him. And we've talked about how he's going to be a solid player. And then, of course, as you guys know, I love Mr. WNBA himself, Sky Moore. I think that is a fantastic choice and a great fit after losing Tyreek Hill. No, he's not Tyreek Hill yet. Who knows what can happen one day? Maybe he'll boister 4.2 speed one day. But I'll tell you what he already does is he gets off that line quick, and if he gets past you, he's creating separation, great hands, and he's got great mentality. I think he's going to fit right in there with the Kansas City Chiefs. I really like what they did with their draft.
I'm going to go with the low-hanging fruit. You guys were avoiding saying the New York Jets because we're going to be talking about them later. I'm not going to avoid the New York Jets because they are the biggest winner of this year's draft. Why? You'll just have to tune in. Losers, though. Losers of the draft. Biggest losers. That's what it comes down to. We're going to be talking about one of them in a little bit, but I will give you guys the San Francisco 49ers, who we talked about just yesterday. The clip's out on YouTube now. Go check it out, Sack City Pod. But drafting a running back in the second round and then just the rest of the mess that they had going on in that draft, it just didn't make sense. None of their picks made sense. They had a lot of – I guess their last pick made sense because it was like cornerbacks, but really the whole draft for the San Francisco 49ers, they are the biggest loser. Dylan, who you got for losers?
Going with the Indianapolis Colts. Might be a curveball, might stump. Maybe you have to sit here for a second, which is why I paused. The Indianapolis Colts, I believe, were the biggest loser, and that's tough to say because usually Ballard on Fridays is definitely a bad man. Stick him in on the second, third rounds of the draft, that's when he usually hits well on all of his picks, right? So it's a little bit questionable for me. Sure, I like the Alec Pierce pick. I think it's another wide receiver you can add to what Michael Pittman brings to that offense. You take a big, not necessarily a big risk, but you go for a tight end that has athleticism upside. You take a Bernard Raymond, who, we talked about potentially being a bust. Not the greatest left tackle there is in the world. They tried getting him. Then they add a safety, a D tackle, another tight end, another D tackle, a center. Like, I'm not a big fan of the draft that Indianapolis had. Obviously, no first round picks. They were screwed from the start in that department. But I think Indianapolis got screwed a little bit hard when it comes to the draft selections.
Good, nice pick. Whatever. Nobody cares. You're a Colts fan. Listen, I went different here. I don't know who the team I'm picking for a loser is, but I do have a player that I'm picking for the biggest loser. It's Justin Fields. The Chicago Bears and Justin Fields are my biggest loser. They didn't really address any kind of offensive weapons except for one man in a Velus Jones. Velus Jones is older than, I don't know, he's older than many receivers in the NFL already. The man spent like 16 years in college. He's the kid that's been there forever. He went to USC for 4 years. Then he went to Tennessee for 2 more years. I think the man is about 30, and they drafted him. I'm not saying that he can't be good. He's fast. He brings some things to the table. But for Velus Jones, who's never eclipsed 1,000 yards, he's never eclipsed 1,000 yards as a receiver, and you take him in the 3rd round, Justin Fields is my loser because that offense drafted a senior citizen.
Can't hate on that pick. I think you're kind of spot on. My losing team, we talked about this. Go check the clips on YouTube if you want some more. Washington Commanders. Just quite bluntly, what the hell are y'all doing? You traded up and got Jahan Dotson, who I loved, and then you ruin it by not doing anything to really help the fact that you got that receiver. You reached to get Fadarian Mathis when you have one of the better defensive fronts in the NFL. Then you went and got a running back when you got so many talented running backs ahead of them. It took you till the 5th or 6th round to even address your secondary, which a lot of people would agree is your biggest hole. I meant to bring this up in that. I don't know how the hell a C- ended up on Brian Robinson. I'm 90% sure that's supposed to be a D-, but either way.
It's
so
not.
No, I'm saying on my end. But either way, the Washington Commanders, I think they did a poor job, especially after trading the picks to go get Carson Wentz, saying we believe in a quarterback that can get us where we need to go, making that you're taking the strides in the right direction. To have a draft like this and prepare for your future so poorly, I'm not a fan. I think they are the losers of the draft.
I don't know how you can say that. You get a Hall of Fame guard in the 7th round.
I didn't think about that. They did get the point guard. We don't talk about a couple P gods up in this show today, though.
Hey, there you go. That's our winners and our losers of this year's draft. AJ, tee up the beautiful.
Who was your loser?
I already said it.
He said the 49ers.
Come on, man.
Boy, do you listen to the show?
I was waiting for you to say
man.
the Jags. My bad. I was waiting for you to say the Jags. I know how you handle
real funny. I'm sorry we didn't take 6 linebackers in the draft. I'm sorry.
You should be sorry because you obviously aren't happy with any of the ones you got.
That's not even how this works. It's okay. I'm sorry we didn't draft all the linebackers in the entire draft, so it's okay.